Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a deep dive into Barbie and the Rockers.
Coming your way soon. They're Barbie and the Rockers, rocking out, they're totally in the groove. Barbie, Dee, Derek, and Eva too. They're Barbie and the Rockers, dressed so cool they always make me see. They're rock stars of your wildest dreams. They're Barbie and the Rockers. Barbie and the Rockers, each sold separately, coming soon.
I want to give a big thank you to everybody who liked my last video, my Barbie makeover series, Barbie and the Rockers. I just am so overwhelmed by all the lovely comments and everything that you said. It really means a lot to me. So thank you all so much for enjoying that video and also enjoying that project. Today's project is going to be very similar, so you might want to call this a part 2, so to speak, of deep diving into Barbie and the Rockers. Now, we briefly touched on Barbie and the Rockers history in my last video, but in this one, I want to do a little bit of a deeper dive. I want to show off my collection in what I have, and I want to restore a couple Barbie and the Rockers dolls with you, give them perms, redo their outfits, and make them look fabulous again.
I'm going to cream.
But yeah, before we get into it, I guess I could share with you what Barbie and the Rockers means to me. This is like when Barbie was pink and fabulous and glittery and just bigger the better as far as like hair and makeup goes. She was not a demure girl in that time. She was very ultra fabulous and ultra glamour. I mean,
She's a woman.
oh my. I just want to again say thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. But who exactly are Barbie and the Rockers, and why were they so important? Let's transport back into the 80s, when Barbie was all about fashion and quality of play. A day before pixelized faces with thick eyebrows and t-shirt dresses with weird inspirational quotes. This was a different Barbie. This was a Barbie when executives gave a fuck. This was 1985, and it was an exciting year for consumerism and the toy industry. And the toy industry back then was a lot different than what it is today, at least from an outsider's perspective. You see, back in 1959, Mattel came out with a doll called Barbie, which you've probably never heard of. And for 26 years, she had been sweeping the nation and other countries. At this point in Barbie's illustrious career as a fashion model, she was considered untouchable. She was considered a superstar. And there would be many companies who tried to rival such a superstar, but unfortunately for them, they really missed the mark. What makes Barbie special is what she means to you and to those who play with her. She's a vessel for your imagination to take flight. She had a very close-knit group of talented designers who could work around a tight budget and execute a beautiful and high-quality product. And with each new release, Barbie got even more glamorous and over the top than ever before. This was the 1980s, and anything seemed possible for Barbie. And as Barbie was experiencing her great success of the 1980s, there were other companies who would like to find their own success in the fashion doll market in the 1980s. And one of those companies just happened to be Mattel's largest rival, Hasbro. Mattel and Hasbro had been rivals since the mid-1960s, and by 1985, it's pretty safe to assume that they were not friends. And with Barbie being on the market for 26 years, Hasbro thought perhaps it was time to introduce a new fashion doll. But not just any kind of fashion doll, a rock star. Mattel, being very protective over their #1 spot in the doll industry, had caught wind of Hasbro's plans to create a fashion doll. Judy Shackelford, former senior VP of Girls' Toys at Mattel, assembled spies called the Pink Berets to go see exactly what Hasbro was planning. And when they found out that Jem was much more than just a fashion doll, that she was a rock star, they reported back to Judy with what information they found. And Judy basically said, said, oh, that's nice, because that's also what we're going to do. And we're also going to beat them to market, which is a difficult and daunting task. It normally takes 18 months to develop, produce, and ship one doll. With this line, they only took 4 months. They used pre-existing fabrics, plastic accessories, and materials they already had to make production go by quicker. Within just 16 hours, the whole line was created. And just like that, they beat Jem to market. The toy market, none the wiser, thought Jem copied Barbie, but now we know better. Barbie and the Rockers was a huge success. They symbolize the ruthlessness of a toy industry, honestly in a bygone era, where the emphasis was on quality and play, and not so much on budget cutting and layoffs. Barbie and the Rockers just wasn't a doll line. It was to be a brand like Jem, and their marketing was quite brilliant. They pushed Barbie and the Rockers out everywhere on all sorts of media. She just wasn't at one Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. The following year, she performed again. They put life-size mannequins dressed up as Barbie and the Rockers at the Glendale Galleria in 1985. They had live actors performing as Barbie and the Rockers at live show events. They really wanted to ensure that Jem never stood a chance. Barbie and the Rockers seemed to be quite successful, because after the Barbie and the Rockers line, there were more Popstar dolls to come. And even to this day, you will still find a Barbie Popstar doll on the shelves, which goes to show even after 40 years later, these dolls are still so important to the brand. Barbie and the Rockers are so much more than just a flash in the pan Barbie line. They are a doll line that still shows their strength even to this day. They are so much more than a Jem copy or a controversial topic amongst doll collectors. To me, they represent resilience, ingenuity, great execution, quality of life and play, fantasy, and fabulous designs. And these are dolls that I simply cannot get enough of. Anytime I see them at the flea market for a good price, I grab them. So join me today as we restore some of my favorite Barbie dolls. And maybe by the end, you'll start to love them too. So these are the 3 dolls that we'll be working on today. They're all in various states. These 2 are clean and they just need their hair to be recurled. Now, Dee Dee would have had like a big perm, but after a boil wash, you can see it kind of came out. There's really nothing curly except for the ends. So we're gonna have to put a perm right back into her hair. And with this Barbie, boil wash really didn't help her that much because her hair is still pretty curly. However, it's pretty matted. So I think what I'm gonna have to do with her is give her another bath, wash her hair, and then try to boil wash it again and see if I could tame that. This doll I actually got at Goodwill. She has a very loose head because she had a fat neck. For some reason, she was pushed down onto the torso like this. This is what we call, in the collector term, fat neck.
Nerd alert!
And, you know, like there's nothing wrong with her body at all, actually. It looks pretty nice, except for the fact, of course, she's got a fat neck. But to help that, we're gonna boil the head and that will bounce it back into its original shape. But before we do that, we're gonna start to work on her hair. And we're also gonna give her quite a bit of a bath because she is very dirty. She obviously is gonna be the one that needs the most restoration whenever it comes to it. These guys, they just need their hair recurled and she needs some jewelry. And that's not really restoration in my mind. That's like playing with your dolls.
Oh, so now the talking cheese is gonna preach to us.
But like this right here, yeah, she's gonna need some extra help. So before I give her a bath, I'm gonna go ahead and remove her earrings. And the reason why they were made like this is because you could take them apart, put them however you would like them. It was just like a fun way of having some customization available in your Barbieverse.
Who's the gay man that thought this up?
I'm gonna start this off with some very hot water in the sink. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go for my dish soap. You could use any kind. Just go ahead and get that fully into the hair itself. Now, these rocker dolls, like I hardly ever see them with their hair actually like brushed out. And I think it's because like when they came in a box, because I've opened, I think 2 mint in box first versions of Barbie, and their hair is just not really brush friendly. So I doubt that they were probably brushed heavily. And if they were, it probably explains all the mats. So you really do very seldom find them all matted up. I'm using some baking soda and I'm scrubbing all around her face. And I'm going to fully submerge it into the water. Go. There we are. Cool beans. Okay. So now I'm going to go in with some conditioner here. And I'm using Garnier Fructis moisturizing conditioner. And I'm going at the ends of the hair first before I go to the roots. I love the smell of this conditioner, by the way. It's really nice. Start brushing. I like to brush from the ends whenever you've got like mats like this. Just brush whatever you can. Don't start from the top and then go down. Start from the bottom and then work your way to the top. Oh! And now that that is done, we can go ahead and rinse it. It's always nice to use warm water whenever you're working with doll hair. Not too hot, but just warm enough. And I think I'm ready to put her into a boiling cup of water so that way her head can shrink right back down to where it's supposed to be. So I've got my electric kettle ready. We've got some boiling hot water right there. Now this is not going to serve as the boil wash that would help the hair. So if you would like to, go ahead and dip it in there and just take your brush and comb out. And again, you don't have to boil wash this doll's hair. It would have been frizzy if not, but you don't have to if you're not comfortable doing this kind of service with your dolls. But the reason I want it to be as straight as possible and as silky as possible is because we are going to reperm this hair. Several of you have asked me, how do you reperm doll hair, specifically Barbie and the Rockers? And this is hopefully going to help several of you. And if you would like more tutorials that maybe you're looking for, check out my playlist on my doll tutorials playlist. Okay, so now that I feel like I've got the hair kind of right where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and re-add the head first, and we're going to submerge it, and we're going to leave it there for quite some time, okay?
Eventually.
So the head is out of the boiling water, so let's reattach it to the body, and there we are. The head now can stay on the body. A little bit loose, so we might have to fix that as well. So if and when you have this problem, what I do is I put a little bit of glue right on the ball itself, like right in there, and then I will just work it around like so. And you want to act fast whenever you do this. Don't leave it, because if you do, then the ball is stuck for good, and you don't want to do that. Work it in. Just gonna add a little bit more in there. There we go. And again, work it around until you have your desired tautness. So it should be good now. Yep, there you are. Moves as it should. Hope that helps.
She's educated.
So let's get to recurling. So we're gonna start with one strand of hair. We're gonna take a pipe cleaner. I'm gonna fold it down like so. We're gonna go to the ends right here, and then we're just gonna start to curl up. Just like this. Go. And then you bend down and boom, there you go. Now we're gonna do this to the whole head of hair.
Then do get on with it, please.
We're gonna do the same thing Go down here, boop, and then curl. There you go. And again, really the focus is to put volume back into this hair, to put the curl back right in its place. My suggestion is, instead of combing through it or even brushing through it, take the rat tail part of your comb and just separate as you go. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this to all of the rockers dolls that we have, all 3, and then we're gonna boil wash, and then we're gonna leave them in the sun, and then we'll put some really cool fashions on them. Okay, so let's get to doing the brush out. So now that we have all the perm rods in the hair and the hair's all dry, we're just gonna unravel. And the hair's gonna look something like this. Okay, just go ahead and pull it down like so. We're gonna take out all of the curlers. Now we have the pipe cleaners out of her hair, and it's looking like this.
The sun will come out tomorrow.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to separate it. So you can either use a rat tail comb, or you could use a straight pin or needle if you do not have one of these. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start and pull down. Go. And just start to separate it as much as you can. And it's okay, this is gonna look a little bit crazy. See, check that out, look. We're pulling it like so. We're getting so much hair. See? It's a lot of hair. So we're gonna do this to the whole head. And you want to make sure that you're not adding so much of that diluted gel, like where it gets crunchy. You don't want to have that crunchy feeling hair whenever you're doing this. And when you get it all pulled out, then we'll start to brush some sections. When you've got it all picked apart, you can take it through the hairline and the part line and just brush down. Don't go all the way out. Just brush down, that ought to be just good enough, see? Just like so. Just begin to work the hair and manipulate it to where you would like it. But check that out. This Barbie now has voluminous, permed hair. Now, originally, she would have had like this part right here swooped in, and then it tied off in the back with a rubber band. But you can mess around with it, and you can play with it, and you can make it into something really cool, and you can get some really voluminous looks doing your Barbie and the Rockers hair like this. So check that out. She looks like she just put her wet finger in the electrical outlet.
Goodbye, everybody. Wish me luck.
Good luck!
Let's do Dee Dee's hair. So we're gonna go and pick it out. So I'm so excited to do her hair. When I got her, her hair was actually quite frizzed out, almost like afro, but you could tell like somebody brushed through her original curls. So it was like kind of matted. And then I boil washed it, and it actually all came out, all of her curls. So I'm very excited to get this done and see what it comes out looking like. Here we have all of her hair picked through. She's giving me Donna Summer and I love her. Isn't she such a gorgeous doll?
Look quite pretty.
So I just want to show you a variation of Barbie and the Rockers doll Barbie. This one is the one made in Hong Kong, and you can really tell them from a mile away because their head is a lot smaller than the usual Barbie and the Rockers doll, and it's typically rock hard. And I don't believe that they were sold like this. I believe that the plastisol just shrunk over time and just got harder, and this is just how it's aged. It's still a really pretty doll, and they have some of the most beautiful faces. You tend to always find them looking so beautiful. And her body markings are the same as usual, but it says Hong Kong on the back. And there's actually like a lot of dolls from that era that were made in Hong Kong for a brief moment of time. There's, of course, Barbie and the Rockers. There's Peaches and Cream, some Date and Night Barbies. For instance, Tropical Barbie. You will find so many variations that were made in Hong Kong, as well as your Philippines and Taiwan dolls. But they're super cute. Their earrings are different. This is like a different type of metallic material, vinyl. It's the same as like the Barbie purses. So at that time, like they were selling like Barbie purses and different accessories. And they were made like, it's like got this weird little swirly Q design all over it. It's super pretty. It's super cute. That's just like a little variation for you. But the reason why I'm actually pulling her out is to also show you how a mint in box example usually looks. So I got her back in 2013, and I bought her for $10 on eBay, and this was at a time when Barbie and the Rockers stuff was dirt cheap. Now, not so much, but I liked her because she was mint in the box, and it was a buy it now, and the only thing wrong was that the box was damaged, but everything and all the contents inside were all fine. And as you can see, like, she's still beautiful, but this doll, I've never taken her through a bath. I've never done anything to her. Her original tricot bow is still sewn into the head. This is her original rubber band, which, by the way, is still good. I don't know how that's happened. But yeah, I want to give her a little bit of a makeover too, because I'm giving so many of them makeovers, with the exception of one who's like the first edition, and she's just minty mint. And this was actually, I think it was my second vintage Barbie and the Rockers doll. The first one that I ever played with, I actually found in a barn. I had a babysitter who I would always go to their house through like one summer. They lived next to a barn. They like had a rental property, and beside them was this big barn. And her daughter and I would go in there and explore all the time. And one of the dolls that we found was a very moldy Barbie and the Rockers doll. Now, I didn't know who she was. I just knew that she had a pound of makeup on and her hair was cut. And I didn't care at that time if their hair was cut or not. I still played with them. And her mom, like, I remember her like dunking the doll in bleach and letting it sit there because like her legs were covered in mold. And I was like, look, I found a Barbie. And she's like, oh, great, you know. But anyway, so this is the second one that I own, so she's pretty special to me, and I really didn't like her that much at first when getting her because I much preferred the Look at the Philippines version one more, because she just has like a tinier head, and I really didn't think that highly of her. But now I actually just love her because she's a part of my early collection, and one that I had and who I loved. And I did throw away, this is so sad, I threw away her original pleather pieces way back when, because I had the Barbie 50th anniversary set, and I used those parts on her instead because they didn't get flaky, and they just looked pristine and mint, and so I played with her like that. But time caught up with those vinyl pieces real quick, and about like 2016, they started to peel and come apart and peel even worse than the original one. So there's like a little piece left of that set on her foot as well. So she went from being like a mint and box doll to being one that I played with and just being one that I kind of treasure and covet. And that's why I never really did any work on her. But I think I want to see some work done on her just to see how special and cool she can also look. And another thing too about these Hong Kong dolls, you will usually find them with like more straight hair, like their perm is not so extreme. And you can tell that they didn't do a tight curl on these dolls whatsoever. They just kind of did like the more lax curls. So I don't know, I never brushed through it. This is exactly, I remember how it came. So it's very interesting. Like you can see like a mat there and everything. I definitely don't have my work cut out for me. I think she's going to be a lot of fun to do, but I'm super excited to see how she looks after. And here we have Derek. I actually got this Derek a while ago. He came, I believe, from one of my friends, and she just gave him to me in a big bag of dolls. Like, I think I even got like peaches and cream in that bag, like a mint untouched one. And he's pretty much mint, and I could tell he's never really been out of this costume. But as you can see, the metallic lame on his lapel has tarnished, and it's also kind of stained the vinyl underneath, like the vinyl collar, which isn't really a big deal to me, you know, because like I really don't care about that. And it's also kind of like tarnished on the cummerbund as well. And also his pleather is really flaky. It's very dry, it gets everywhere, and he's also kind of dirty. And I've had him for a while, like I said, and I never really did anything with him because I wanted to do some work on his pleather parts, because Derek is one of those dolls like where, to me, he's kind of a mystery. Like, why make him instead of just like make him like into the rebrand Ken? Because honestly, like if you look at him, he's handsome. And he looks very similar to Ken, but he has a really cool hairstyle. Something, you know, like Ken's hair at that time was very typical for a man who's supposed to be Ken's age, who is supposed to be well-dressed, but he does look like a square.
Are you talking about me?
And this guy right here, Derek's head mold, he's very handsome, he's hunky, and he has like a head full of really cool looking hair. But you can see like the pants have gotten on everything. And this is separate, so that's cool. Check that out. See, I didn't even know that. But as you can see, like all the tarnished bits on here. But it is what it is. And there we are to the pants situation. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take these pants apart, and use them as a pattern for new pants. And I'm going to make them out of black pleather. So I'll keep you guys updated on how that goes, and we could probably do that process together, because we could also make some new pleather pieces for the first edition Barbie and the Rockers doll, who also has the same problem with the horrid pleather situation. So I've decided after washing Derek's clothes that we're just going to make him new leather pants, because some of it's flaked off, and you can even like see it all on the paper. It's not all come off, and I don't know, I want him to look really cool and really rad. So we're gonna do sort of like a new pant, but keeping the old pattern. And I thought while we're at it, we might as well do it with Barbie too. So I've got like her original skirt here, and you can see that it's flaking. It looks just about as dry as your lips in winter.
I'm gonna have to write a letter. That bothers me.
And same with her boot. And the thing about these boots, these little booties, when you stick them on, it'll just all flake off because it will have to be stretched to go onto her calf. I'm going to keep the patterns instead of the fabric pieces, so that way if in the future I needed to make more clothing, I could use these patterns as a reference. Now, you don't have to actually take apart these outfits. What you could do is get some fabric paint that's like a leather. You could very well just paint that onto this material. That's an option, and you wouldn't have to take it apart and then re-sew it back on, or you could just not touch it and leave it flaking. I mean, like, it is whatever you want. The world is your oyster at this point. But since I have a sewing machine and since I may have the know-how, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make pattern pieces and make it from some fresh pleather. Now here I've got some fresh pleather. I got it from Joann Fabrics a while ago, sometime last year, because again, I've always had the intention on making Barbie and the Rockers Barbie and then also doing a restoration to go along with it. So this is what I got from it. This was way before Joann Fabrics, you know, went into bankruptcy and are closing all of their stores. And I went ahead and got the same for Barbie. I wish I got more of this white because it looks like I've got a couple stains on it from something and I don't know exactly what, but yeah, I wish I got more of these materials when I had the chance. So we're going to use this black material, but before we do that, I'm going to show you how I do my patterns. So this outfit is very straightforward. You can see that it's got the allowance for a fake pocket, a faux pocket right over here. And it's still hemmed at the bottom, so you'd want to allow your pattern to come out at least by ½ an inch, like right here, and just cut along accordingly. There we go. See? Now we also have the pocket that is hemmed right here, and it starts right here, so you want to have that out like so. Have an extra bit of it. And you might be like, why are you doing that lip? And the reason why we're doing this lip is because we are going to fold it under and hem it right here. So that way it has a seam for whenever he puts his hands into the pockets. Now I suspect that most likely if Mattel does reproduce Derek, they're going to cut corners somewhere. And these little hem marks right here, these seams right over here, and the faux pockets probably are going to be in yesteryear because it's a small detail that could easily be missed. And obviously, they could just not put it in, and half of the people who buy it are not going to know any wiser. And same with the skirt, they might have it to where they don't hem it. You don't have to hem the skirt. Like honestly, like this is just extra quality right there that they were giving us in the day. But in the 90s, whenever they did pleather skirts, they very seldom hemmed it like they did in the late 80s. So again, these are some cost-cutting measures that they might do if they run out of budget or if they're just feeling cheap. So we can go ahead and smooth it all out and just trace up top like so. Just go all the way around it. Now, I don't work for Mattel and I can't speak for Mattel. I don't know their business codes and practices. I just know that they like to cut corners sometimes. And I think the pockets would be more forgivable than some other form of detail. And that's just if they're going to make Derek. I really don't think that they're going to make Derek. There we go. Okay. Just have it go all the way down. It doesn't have to be perfect. But there we go. And then one more for down here. Allow for your lip right there. And boom, there we go. We've got the front of his pants. So to make sure that we know that it's the front, it's gonna have the fly. The fly, if we put it right back up here, starts right here and works its way up like so. There we go. And that's just gonna be a straight hem. There's really nothing to that. So we're gonna do for the pants now, the same thing. We're gonna have ½ an inch up here. Allow for the hem. There we go. And now we're gonna pull down. Again, it's okay if it's a messy pattern. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. Go in. Okay, lay it down flat like so. and add for a lip. Right here, the pocket seam. Go down. And don't forget about your top up here. And boom. There we go, we've got Derek's pants. So I just wanted to show you how his pants were constructed before I start sewing it all back up together. So we've got the seam right over here for his pocket, looking nice. We've got the seam down here for his pant legs, looking nice. He's got the folds right here, looking good. And this is going to be the crotch area. And then this is going to be where you want to end that seam's probably actually right up here someplace. And then over here is the unhemmed pocket. So you're going to sew these together like so. We got the fly sewn it in right there. You're just going to sew it on top and just follow along like so. Boom, boom, stop right there. There's your opening so you can get Derek into the pants. And then what you'll do is you'll just fold this over right here. And then this will be hemmed, and look, a faux pocket. Okay, so here they are sewn together. So the last thing that you'll want to do is just sew the pocket right there. So that way he's got like a faux pocket, like so. Here's one with it finished, where he could just slip his hand in there. There's no actual fabric to catch anything, so it's not like you could really fit anything in there, but that's how they were originally made. And so all that you'll do is just sew this on top of that whenever it's done, and then boom, he'll have a new pair of pants. I remade Barbie's skirt. Look at that. Literally looks factory. Looks really good. So now she can like sit down and do stuff. And now we're gonna work on her boots. So I made the little shells for them, and again, they're just exact copies, but they're not gonna peel.
Are you sure?
Something that the original had were little tiny dots on the cuff of the boot, and they were using silver paint. So I've got this little paint marker. I got it at Walmart forever ago, and I have actually tested it on this pleather, and it does a pretty good job. And I'm just gonna have the doll wearing the boots right now. So I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna do it in little circles. And so you're just gonna do like 3 dots in rows. And that's basically what you're gonna do all across the cuff of the boots. And there we go, we've got the little silver dots all over. So she should be pretty much done. So just in case you were curious as to what a first edition Barbie and the Rockers doll comes with, I will go over everything because honestly, it is so overwhelming with how much they put in with these dolls. So for starters, you get your doll, and she comes with an option of having this little hair ribbon made out of nylon tricot, or her fuzzy head wrap piece right here where you could brush it or do whatever you want, which we'll go over that in a minute as to like what its play feature actually is. But it's very much in the guise of like a troll doll.
It's true!
You've got your Barbie with this big beautiful perm, and she came in this beautiful outfit and with some pleather pieces, pleather goods, and the spike heels that we all love from the 80s. And this doll was one of those dolls that was made in mass quantities. She has been mass produced over and over and over again. I find this doll quite often. I don't find her in the box quite often, but I find her out of the box and played with quite often. So I found them in really good condition. I found them in really bad condition. This one is just one that we found in really good condition. Now, in my time, I have opened 2 of these brand new. So I'm very spoiled rotten whenever it comes to Barbie and the Rockers. I just love them. And whenever I started collecting them, it was a great time to collect them because nobody seemed to care. And unfortunately, now everybody seems to care, and I'm still trying to catch some of my favorite pieces in the whole collection. But I will show you something really cool. So Barbie and the Rockers Evolved. This is the doll that you would have found on the shelves 5 months after production. This is the one made in the Philippines. She has the stars on her earrings, which they soon after got rid of, as you can see. She has a plain vinyl belt. It had nothing on it. It was just plain and vinyl. Whereas you see, we have gone to a faux velveteen material with sparkles all over it. We go down to her tights. Her leggings have different spaces in between them. And then here is one that is most found, so you can see. But she does have the same pleather pieces and pleather goods as what the other one has as well. But this one is a mint and untouched with example. I've not washed her. I've not done anything with her other than just display her. This is one that I got probably about 5 years ago, and I just have kept her in the best condition because she is really that special to me. It was very special to find her. But if we look around, you can see exactly how they had their hair in the box. This is pretty crunchy. It's like a piece of ramen, but it was all pulled back from the lower part of the nape of the neck. And this was the hair that you had to work with. Now, for it really being box hair, it's not so bad. Could be worse, could be better type of situation, but she is completely original. You can see her earrings right here. They're just recast crystal Barbie earrings, or pink and pretty Barbie earrings, as you can see. But super beautiful, super pretty, and again, a miracle that they were able to come up with this in such a short amount of time. We get to this one over here. You can see some things are different. The tops, for one, are different. You can see this one is made of a silver lame, and this is made of a lurex type of material. This is way more sturdier than the lame, but I think honestly it came down to they were using whatever they could get their hands on. These dolls came out in so many different factories. You will find them being made in Malaysia, Philippines, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Spain. You'll find them made in Spain as well. And Estrella, that company, also made them for their Brazil market. So again, you know, you will find so many variations of this doll. And even in the UK, she wasn't Barbie and the Rockers. She was Barbie Rockstar. So she was just Rockstar. She wasn't Barbie and the Rockers. It didn't say Rockers, it said Rockstar on her. So there you go. You know, some more Barbie knowledge for you. But if we look down at all of her accessories that she came with so much. She came with a hairbrush. It's going to be really pointless to try to brush that perm with this hair, and it could make it even more frizzy than what it is, but maybe that was their plan all along. She came with her own t-shirt, which has a snap in the back. And just like the dolls, you will find the t-shirts to be made of various materials. This one is made of a nice, like, nylon type of jersey. It's really nice, and it's very thick and very nice quality. Another thing too, we could get back on these leggings. There are many variations of these leggings as well. There's some that look like pink and pretty pants. There's some that look like this. There's some that are lurex that have stripes going down and not horizontally. Honestly, you could collect so many different versions of this doll's costume and of the doll. It may never be done because, again, they always had a different expression. Like, look at these two. They're so different. So here is the shirt decal. This is a decal that you could use for your shirt. You could just iron transfer this onto your shirt, and then you too could have a Barbie and the Rockers shirt and become a fan. Here we have the instructions for this Barbie. You can see that they packaged it with the iron transfer, so it's a little bit purple. So these are Barbie and the Rockers instructions, and it's just a picture guide. It shows you how to put on her headdress. Shows you could brush it down and brush one side up. You could use it to gather all of her hair together if you wanted. You could go and muff up her hair and give her bangs with it. Or you could do a crazy design like that and just, you know, like have it all over her face. I mean, like, this is just so innovative, because who would have thought that this right here would have had a play feature? So let's try to play with it. We'll brush one side down, just like it asked, and then do one side up. Why? You know, like why they thought that that would look spectacular is really anyone's guess, but she does look super cute either way. So again, like even the headdress had a play feature. So we go on over, we see buttloads of cardboard cutout accessories. We've got one framed photo of Derek, which this could even be a magazine if you really think about it. We've got one album that has Barbie on it, super pretty graphics. We've got another cover of Barbie on her Super Vet. We've got another album with Barbie and the Rockers. And then we have another album with Derek and Diva on it. We go over here, we've got their gold albums. Check that out. One that says Rockers, one that doesn't have anything. Ticket stubs, they all came with ticket stubs. And they would just have different numbers on the bottom just to show different seats. So all of your Barbies could go to Barbie and the Rockers concert, as well as sheet music. What musician is without sheet music? You know? And one huge poster of Barbie and Derek. And you can see like how they've utilized that purple wrap to must up her hair and make it look like she has bangs. And that's just part of the play feature with this doll. Like, that's so innovative. It gives you a chance to play and make her unique. You know what I mean? Like, that is so cool. But yeah, that's really pretty. The first editions would have actually come with this right here. This is the 1984 catalog. Which will open it up and you can see all of the dolls available in this catalog. Most of these things were probably still on the shelves at that time. But as you can see, there's not one Barbie and the Rockers item on here. You're not going to find it, because this is from 1984. Later ones, when they had time to print them, because again, this was made and put on shelves within a 5-month period. This right here came out after some time had passed. It's a new Barbie catalog. And this one is for 1985. And we see a lot of new dolls, don't we? There's her Ultra Vet right there. And look at that, the Barbie and the Rockers. But as you can see, these are their prototypes, some more prototypes of them. Looks like they've even wrapped Barbie's head wrap around her neck and made it into a fashionable bow tie. They did the same thing with Dee Dee over here too, look at that. And there we go. And this is the 1985 Barbie catalog. You can see all of these beautiful fashions. And you know, like these fashions, they weren't like the best of quality. Like, I'm gonna be honest, they weren't groundbreaking by any means, but they were still fashionable and so pretty. Look at that. Some gorgeous fashions. The execution was everything at this time, whenever it came to Barbie fashions. It's really a far cry from where Barbie is today.
I feel like I've fallen down the rabbit hole yet again. It doesn't seem to have changed since the day I got here.
Something else that the first edition dolls came with that was really cool was a cassette tape for Barbie and the Rockers that was two-sided. So on one side you have the Rockers theme and dressing up, and on the other side you have Born with a Mic and Stretching It. Let's listen.
We're Barbie and the Rockers, rocking out with Tony and the crew. We're Barbie and the Rockers, just so cool, we always make the scene. We're rock stars of your wildest dreams.
Here we have the Ironon Decal, and this is it. Now these would have come with all of the first versions of Barbie and the Rockers. Okay, so on the back it has the instructions, and I remember making this before, so I know like these work, and a lot of the transfers sometimes even transfer onto like the paper pieces because like they're stored the same way. I did this in high school whenever I got my Barbie and the Rockers doll that was made in Hong Kong. I did it and I wore the shirt proudly, and I think it's such a beautiful drawing. So let's do this exactly how the instruction sheet shows you. So first things first, I'm gonna iron out the shirt. I've placed a plain white piece of paper underneath of the decal and in between the iron like it asked. And I believe that it wants us, let's see, cover the transfer sheet with another piece of plain white paper. Okay, so here we are, it is covered. So it asks for no steam, so I'm gonna turn off the steam. So what I'm gonna do is now, I'm gonna place it over top. It's gonna take a lot of heat to get out this decal. You can really smell like burning paper. Okay, so it's cooled down. So let's take out the pins and time to see what happens. Wow. And look, like, I think that there's still some that you can use on other things too. It's just absolutely wonderful and it's a lot of fun. I'm going to make my own t-shirt insert because I didn't feel like driving 30 minutes to go get one. So I just drove down to Walmart, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna trace around the t-shirt like so. And you just need it, honestly, just to stretch out the shirt. So that way, when you are designing on top of it, number one, the shirt is stretched out. Number two, that way, whatever you draw on here does not transfer to go onto the back. But now all I've got to do is get an X-Acto blade, cut it out, and then stick it through the shirt. So I put the t-shirt onto the t-shirt board that I just made, and I got like all kinds of fabric paints and fabric markers from Joann Fabrics. I really went crazy, and it's because they are going out of business and they're selling off all of their inventory, and it was 60% off. So I was like, I'm never gonna find these kinds of deals again, so I went ahead and bought like everything they have.
Oh, that's terrible. Thank you.
And I've got like all the markers you could ever possibly want, and I've got all the paints you could ever possibly want. So I am going to just have fun with this. I'm gonna embellish it. I'm gonna make it my own. And I'm also gonna like try to copy the like squiggly line approach. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm super excited to like do something like this because this is something that I used to do in high school. Like I used to make my own t-shirts because I wanted a bunch of characters on t-shirts that weren't being made at the time. So I would just paint them on my t-shirts and I would just like have fun. And I want to continue on the tradition and just have fun. So I've never used these kinds of paints before. So I'd be very interested to see like how they blend and how they perform. So I'm super excited to do this. So let's go ahead and do it. I'm gonna start with this light pink, and I'm just gonna do like a little swirly cue. I'm trying to make it look like very 80s, by the way. I'm just gonna try it out and see what I think, because you never know. You just never know. I'd even go with like, oh yeah, I think the neon pink is the way to go. Oh wow, yeah, the neon pink. And that's pretty cute. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of this, and then we'll take a look at it after I'm done. Here I have the shirt done. I put glitter on it. I put rhinestones on it. I painted. I did the markers. I did everything. It looks like one big gay birthday cake.
Oh, that's marvelous.
And I love it. I wanted to go a little bit more extreme, but again, I didn't really have all the materials that I wanted to use for this type of project. But I am pretty pleased with the way that it turned out, and I can't wait to wear it. I just love it. And here it is on, and I rather like it. You can kind of see like a little bit of sparkle going on, and I just love all the colors, and it just like, oh, it makes me feel like I'm wearing something vintage and something Barbie.
The latest, the greatest, new dancing Barbie and the rockers with Ken. Dancing stars, the rockers really move. Dana, Dee Dee, Diva, Derek, Barbie and the rockers. The girls really dance.
When Barbie asked me to join the band,
He said,
that's cool.
now I dance with my man. Don't be so separately. Barbie and the rockers.
So let us take a closer look at a Barbie and the Rockers doll that is still in the box. This is my Ken doll. I got him while thrifting in Indiana a couple years ago. So again, I've had a big plan for this video for quite some time. But you can see he's here on the back. It's his prototype. Missing a scarf in that one. There's Barbie, Dee Dee, Diva, and Dana, and Derek too. There they all are. And then this was his feature with combable hair. And this one is a version that is made in Taiwan. And he's actually very handsome. I have one that's out of the box already, but I don't have any other Rockers fashions for him. This is him. And I did his hair. You can see he's got some wild looking hair going on. But yeah, he's a super cute doll. I've always wanted to open up this doll, but what stopped me from doing it is because I wanted to record it, but also with the fact that he has pleather pants. Now, as we've all gone through with Derek and Barbie already, who have had pleather objects, the only one who did not come with pleather is Diva. I have actually had this outfit before in a lot. It was one of the first lots I got whenever I was in high school. And I remember this outfit because the pants were always sticky and there was nothing I could do about it then. And there's not really anything I can do about it now, but I did go to Joann Fabrics today and I did get a couple extra things. They are still operating, so if you all go into your Joann Fabrics, they might still have some stuff and they might be for good prices. I went and I found some silver pleather, and here it is. And I made it into his pants already, so if I can't fix it or if I decide that I would rather just put him in these pleather pants, that's what we're gonna do. And they're all pretty nice, and I sewn them just the way that they're supposed to be too, so he's even got the faux pockets right there. But yeah, what's interesting is that his outfit and Derek's outfit are essentially the same pattern. So I just used Derek's pleather pants pattern to make him his pants as well. But let's go ahead and look at his box. We've got Ken, Hot Rockin' Fun, Barbie and the Rockers. And there he is. I'll go ahead and turn it around. On the back of the box, it shows you all the dolls that were available at the time. You are able to decide which one is your favorite. And like we've gone over, this Ken came with combable hair. Now, these second edition female dolls were all able to dance. I don't know why they decided not to make the men dance as well, but it's probably because they were going on a tight budget. and perhaps they were spending their money so many other different places that they just decided, you know what, it's not really that important for the men to dance, who knows. But there he is. So let's go ahead and get him out of the box. And I'm taking him out of the box because that's what I bought him for. I bought him to take out of the box. And if I ever decide that I would like one in the box again, they're not very expensive. That's like how I rationalize all of this. There you go. So there's Ken, and there's some paper goods in here. And that is all that's in the box. It's a really nice box. Oops, sorry, cat. So we've got some paper goods here. We have how to assemble his guitar. We've got the Barbie fashion booklet. If we look at him on his card here, you can see it's just very basically put in there. And we can look at the pants. And here are the pants. You know, like they're not bad at all, actually. Huh. Wow. Well, what do you know? His pants are fine.
Sure, Jan.
So we've got his accessories here. Let's go ahead and get him off of his card. His legs are a little bit sticky, so before I put on his socks, I'm actually going to take off his suit. Now, I am pretty concerned that this pleather will flake as soon as I try to take off his jumper. You know, the worst case scenario, if it does, we replace it with these pants. You know, like it's really not that big of a deal, but it would be cool if this works. Okay. It's also like really difficult because he is very sticky. His legs, see, like as I was pulling it, see how it's separating right there? Yeah. Yeah, and see like how it's separating right here too? You can see now like where there's flakes, it's flaking off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna take these pants off. I'm gonna replace them with my other pleather pair and then we'll be back. Okay, so here we have him unboxed and he's all put together. We'll do a little 360. And let me just share with you, I think he might be one of my favorite Ken dolls. I think he looks like Luke from General Hospital in the 80s. And I don't know if that's the look that they were going for, but I know that General Hospital was like really popular at that time. I know my aunt still watches it. My mom used to watch it when I was a kid. But here's his new pleather pants. They look really nice. I mean, he does kind of look like the Tin Man. But I really, really love him. I think he's really cool. And he's a really cool part of Ken history. He has a guitar, hot pink guitar with the sticker. I put on the sticker. It's really pretty. And he came with 3 different straps. So he has a yellow strap, he has a pink strap, and he has a clear translucent strap, which I think looks really cool. What's also really cool about him is that he's also made to pair with Barbie. And here he is with his girl. And they're so cute together. When you hold her and you do her little action move, it's just so cool. And like I said before in my Barbie makeover series where I did Barbie and the Rockers, this was the Barbie I really wanted as a kid a lot more than the OG Barbie and the Rockers doll. And that's just because her look is so beautiful. Like there's just something so iconic and so beautiful about this doll. And she herself was on a lot of merchandise as well as the first edition Barbie and the Rockers. So in my opinion, I feel like she's very iconic. I truly, really think that these dolls in the background would still hold up to kids today. I know my 4-year-old niece loves the 80s dolls, especially Peaches and Cream. She goes nuts for Peaches and Cream.
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend, and she is the moment.
So if they were to add some of these dolls onto the toy shelves and actually do a good job and not be half-assed, I think that it would be really cool to see. And I know us collectors would just adore the chance to buy these brand new again and get to play with them and make new memories with them all over again.
Testify!
It's really nice that he has rooted hair, and they gelled his hair, which is very different because they usually didn't gel down doll's hair at that time. At least none of the Barbies that I've ever opened from this era had crusty gel hair. Like, this is like the buttery saran that you dream of finding on dolls even today. But it's just gorgeous, and she's wonderful and he's wonderful, and I'm so happy to have them both in my collection.
Topping the new wave, it's the
Rockers, rockin' fashions, pretty and pink, hot ruffles are the rage. Minnie in boots and bride gowns set the stage.
Love that lace.
Barbie and the rockers, head over heels in bangles and baggies. The rockers dress exactly as they please.
Fashions for the rockers dolls, each sold separately, scans not included.
In the rockers, rockin' fashions.
Okay, it's time to review some fashions.
Yay!
I've got two lovely Barbie and the Rockers dolls in front of me. I have Diva and I have Barbie, the Hong Kong version, the one I had as a teenager. Super fun. And I've got three fashions here. I've got this one, which is from the second series. And these actually come with the wide toe pumps. This is the first time that they were introduced. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna necessarily open this, although like I'm going crazy for that top and those socks because it's got the pleather pants, and you can kind of see it is already flaking, like it's already flaked onto the plastic liner right here. So I don't know, I might just leave it in there because honestly, the other fashions I have are way better. I have these fashions. I've got the wedding dress right here. I'm gonna put it on Barbie. It's so Madonna. It's not even hard to imagine who they got this inspiration from. Yeah, I wonder who, right? Yeah. The one I want to put on Diva is this one right here, and it's actually one that she's wearing. And this is just irony at its finest because I found this fashion pack way before I found this Diva doll. And it just turns out that she's on the package, and it just turns out she's gonna wear it. So very fun. On the back of the package, they're both the same. We can see some prototypes of these fashions. We see Dana right there, which ironically is probably my second favorite of the entire line, and it's the only one I don't have.
I mean, there must be a support group for people like me.
In either editions. And then we've got Derek, Diva, Barbie with a mole, which I stated in my previous video that I think that they definitely got some inspiration from Madonna. And then of course we have Dee Dee. She's gorgeous. Love her. We go on down, we see that gorgeous outfit, which I would love to get this for Dana. And then we've got this one right here, Barbie. We've got Diva. And Derek looks really good. I love this jacket that he has on. It's got the Rockers logo on the back of it, but it's so sad because it is made of pleather. So it, you know, second you put it on, it's gonna fall right to bits. We've got Barbie right there. This is one of my favorite outfits. I don't have this one, but I'd like to find it. And I'd like to find basically all of them, but Dee Dee looks really good in this. And there's all the fashions. It's remarkable to think about how many fashions these dolls debuted with. And there's that fashion on the card again. Barbie and the Rockers fashions. And then here is the wedding dress again on its card. Something very interesting about this wedding set. See how it has a little diamond ring with the shoes? I'm wondering if that was on purpose to be like a wedding dress or if that was a factory error. I don't really know, and I have an extra pair of white shoes, so I'd like to keep it either way because I think it's really cool to look at. But yeah, let's go ahead and get these two open and get them on the dolls. So here we have the fashions out of their packaging. So let's take a deep dive into 2689 first, the one that we're gonna put on Diva. It is very simply made, honestly. Hemmed at the bottom. The fabric is like a nylon-y polyester type material that's used for waterproof fabrics, like think of sleeping bag or think of a camping tent, very much like that. Elastic waist that is serged up top. Very nice. I would imagine that they used a stiffer material so that way it could look a little bit more flouncy than what it actually is. So I'm sure that's why they picked that. We've got a cotton shirt up top. I don't know really why they use cotton, maybe because it can handle the structure of what's happening over here. We've got 2 layers of nylon tricot and then that pink Swiss dot netting on the side, that tulle. And it's all ruffled together into the sleeve. And it closes up with a snap. Very interesting construction on this particular outfit. Very interesting, very wild. We've got a bow for her hair, which we can tie in her hair. We'll have to take off her little fur thing. And then we've got pantyhose. They're almost like pantyhose. They're leggings, really, made of nylon tricot, but they're nice. We've got a belt, a vinyl belt, that just clips on the back with itself. They were doing this a lot back in the day. Think of them like little hooks. Just hook them together. And same goes for the necklace up top. It too has little hooks where you can just hook it around. This is made of a plastic vinyl. And little sticker decals on them as well. We've got the skinny-toed vacuum pumps. I love these shoes. These spike heels are really so beautiful. Now let's look into 2688. We can look at the veil first. Here's the veil. I've had this outfit before, but it was in pieces. So I've always wanted one that was like perfectly mint, and I was so happy to be able to find one because it is a harder to find fashion. We've got 2 armbands right here for each arm. We've got her bouquet, which is made of the same nylon net as far as the tricot on the inside. It's supposed to look like a little lily, and on the back it has a little piece of elastic so you can have it in her hand. Very nice. And then we'll go on to the dress itself. The dress itself is made of nylon tricot and a nylon tricot on the bottom as well. This piece wants to stick up. It's got this metallic fringe on the back that's made of an iridescent material, which is really nice. And the nylon tricot that they used is really beautiful. I love the metallic dots all over it. And up top it's all gathered with nylon tricot pink, as well as some fringe up top as well, made of the same iridescent fabric. Now with this outfit, she did come with a pair of shoes, and it looks like she even came with a ring. Let's see where the ring go. There it is. Maybe so that she could wear something that resembled a wedding ring, who knows. I'm gonna leave this in this package, and I'm just gonna use some shoes I already have, and I'm also going to add some nylon tricot stockings, which I think would really take this look over the top. Okay, here the outfits are on the dolls. We'll do a little 360. My favorite look between the two is definitely the wedding dress. I love Madonna, and I think that this is so Madonna coded, and you just can't not hum like a virgin whenever you see this. You know, you could see her rolling on the ground on the VMA floor in this outfit, just doing her best at becoming a pop star icon. And this one is, there's a lot going on here. You know, It's cute, but it's not my favorite construction wise. Like with this on, this is kind of awkward in my opinion. I don't really like it as much as I thought I would, but I still like it. I like that it came with a little necklace, and I like that it came with a little belt. In the Barbie and the Rockers fashion commercial, they actually had Barbie in this, and she did look really nice in it. I love the makeup on these dolls. I've always thought that they look like little drag queens.
A drag queen?
And I just think that's so fabulous, and the way that they're dressed is so nice. One thing I will say that I forgot to mention, this is fastened in the back with Velcro. This is one of the early uses for Velcro in Barbie's fashion history. So that's when we start to see the switch into Velcro, which happened a couple years after Barbie and the Rockers debuted, but you can see them toying with the idea.
Hi, parrots.
Nerd alert!
What?
Live on their hot rockin' stage, Barbie and the Rockers!
Rock and roll is what we love to play.
Hot rockin' stages,
Jumping night and day. We're Barbie and the Rockers.
rockers, and we're rolling.
Hot rockin' stage.
Comes with Rockers record and play instruments. You put it together. Dolls each sold separately.
Barbie and the Rockers.
These are the two Barbie and the Rockers playsets that I have. This is the Dance Cafe, and then I have the Hot Rockin' Stage. Now this one I overpaid for on eBay. It said that it was mint in the box. It is not. It was sold to me as it was unopened, and obviously you can see by the duct tape on it that that is just simply not true. And it was left to my surprise whenever I opened it up that it is actually missing several pieces and is ripped up and is damaged. So fortunately, I was able to get a refund on this. And the seller was, what I should say, kind enough to let me keep it. But I am still bitter grapes about it for sure, because I waited for this thing and I was like, oh my God, it's going to be so cool. And then I opened the box, and thank God I opened the box. Because I always, whenever I buy a Barbie playset, I always open the box. Regardless if I'm going to do a video on it or not, I always open the box to make sure that everything is in there, because I like to buy playsets that say that they are complete, because I want to have the full experience. And this right here does not even give me half of an experience. That's how much is missing. So this one over here I actually found at Goodwill, and it is pretty complete. Let me tell you, for what I paid for this, like, I wouldn't care, because I just wanted it as like a display setup, but it's so beautiful. The box art on both of these is just fantastic. And I love to see like the prototypes of these dolls right over here, because that's what they are. If you look at Barbie right there, you can really see it, that she's a prototype. Look at that entire costume, which is really cool. And you get to see another prototype in the background that has a more muted look, which looks like the doll that we actually got on the shelves. And they're all so cool. So I'm excited to get this open and set up. I'm gonna try to set them both up. They both have a lot of pieces to them, but we could look at the boxes. Barbie and the Rockers. This is all the things that are supposed to be included with the set. Again, it's not included with the set, which is sad, but there's the Barbie right there. Looks like either a Philippines doll. Yeah, I'd say that's a Philippines doll right there. Very pretty. And you can tell that that's another prototype too, because of the hair. There, they had so many of these. Looks like they went through very many stages. Get it? Stages? Okay. And we go to the back of this, and it's just box art. There you go. Just tells you everything that's included. So I'm going to go ahead and get both of these open and get them all set up, and we're going to see what they're all about. Okay, so this is supposed to light up in the back, and look at that lovely surprise right there. And I wonder what the date is on these, if it has it or not. These might be original from the 80s. I have put in new batteries. I used some white vinegar and some rubbing alcohol to get out all of the battery acid and clean off the parts. I really don't think it's gonna work. We're gonna turn on the switch just to see. Nope, that does not work.
Christ, you're going to be my 13th reason.
So here is the Barbie and the Rockers Dancing Cafe. This is my set all put together. Obviously, it is incomplete. If you are looking for a more complete video, there is some on YouTube already. But this is my set, and again, like, ultimately I got it for free, but just buyer beware. Whenever sets on eBay say that they're mint and complete, always check the box. You know, even if it looks like it's sealed, always check the box, because you never know. You could be getting a lemon like me. But we've got Dee Dee over here chilling out. She's sitting what should be like the table area, I guess, like the cafe part. And then we've got Barbie and Derek over here on stage. And you can see that we've got a little knob here. And if you press the knob, they do a little bit of a dance right there. It's not much of a dance, but it's more of a dance than they can do on their own. So there you go. We've got a nice potted plant right here. I do like that potted plant, very 80s to like have these like in nightclubs and such. I imagine that this is a nightclub. You know, you got your strobing lights, you got your dance floor, you've got your potted plant. I would imagine that they probably wanted to put nightclub, but dance cafe is more appropriate for kids. But, you know, just imagine you can have like your regular Barbies dancing on this too. Like, this is a really fun play set, you know. They came out with some really fun and cool play sets. And the reason why I wanted these play sets is because I would like to do a Barbie and the Rockers display in my living room. And I had a Barbie Goes to McDonald's play set up there where I had my collection like eating at McDonald's. Like, I think that's so much fun. So here we have the stage all set up. We've got a camera that has a little picture of Barbie in the screen, which is so cute. So you can make believe that you're shooting your Barbie and the Rockers music video, or maybe they're at MTV. They're doing something rad. It should have come with 2 lights. I do have a piece for the other light. Like I said, I got this at Goodwill. I've got accessories in here. Like I've got like their mirrors and bottles and little combs and little brushes and such. And this goes in their dressing room, which is on the other side. We did have some casualties, which I found in the box. So we are missing a blue peg, which looks just like that down there. Looks like these little leg pegs. And we had one that looks like it broke off and now it's gone. It's missing. And we also have a couple of the stand pegs inside the keyboard. So it unfortunately cannot be used on the stage anymore. We do have a different type of guitar though that was included right here with an adjustable strap and little holes where you could put the Barbie thumb and make it to where she's actually like holding it, which is really cool. And yeah, I mean, all of this is pretty fun. You can have so much fun pretending like they're performing for somebody. There's even space for Ken. Again, all I'm missing is Dana, and like this would be such a really cool set to have out. And directly behind the stage, we have the dressing room, which has a lot of fun graphics on it. We've got Derek's side over here. Separate dressing rooms too, which is fun. You've got Barbie over here, and you can see some actual like Barbie and the Rockers fashions up there. It might even be included like some fashions that weren't even made, but I'm sure that's them just taking their liberties with the artwork. And there's her boots, which that would have been a fun color scheme if the tops were actually pink and glittery. That would have been really cool. But yeah, like I said, like these came with like little chairs, and the keyboards, if you turn them around, then they just become tables, and you can put like their combs and hairbrushes and stuff on the tables. And I believe I'm missing a chair, but I could be wrong. But that is their dressing room. And here's my hot rockin' stage with most of my Barbie and the Rockers dolls. including the one that I just made. If you've not seen that video, I'll leave it down in my description box below. That way you can watch it as well. As I've mentioned before, this whole doll line just means a great deal to me, so I really appreciate you all for sticking through to the end. And you have to let me know what you think of Barbie and the Rockers. And I know it's definitely filled with some controversy. Were you more of a Jem fan or a Barbie and the Rockers fan? Whether you love Jem or Barbie, I think we can all agree that they are both fabulous. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you all so much for sticking with me to the end. This is such a ultra fabulous line and I honestly can't get enough of it. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. I've got a highly requested video for you coming out next. It will be a collection tour of all the dolls that I have on my display. So I hope you stay tuned and I hope you stay fabulous. Bye-bye.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Hey, you just had the magic words, and look what you did. And look what's rocking this Christmas from Mattel and Toys R Us. Barbie and the Rockers look great and are priced even better with a $1 rebate on each. And when you get the Rockers Hot Rockin' concert stage that turns into a dressing room, you get a $2 rebate. Get $5 from Mattel on Barbie's Hot Rockin' fan with cassette player. All at Toys R Us low prices.
It's the world's biggest toy store. Let's go.
Barbie and the Rockers. We're Barbie and the Rockers. We're Barbie and the Rockers, and we're coming to town. We hope you're gonna show us around. I've been waiting so patiently for my day to arrive. Look at me, I'm singing my song now. I feel I belong now. I've never felt so alive. Yes, I'm a rock and roll girl. Whatever Barbie wants, Barbie's gonna get. Nothing's gonna stop me once my mind is set, 'cause I'm a rock and roll girl. Yes, she's a rock and roll girl. Can you hear it? Can you hear what I'm singing about? Feel the beat of the drum. Get up and dance in the rhythm. There's power. Dance for our rocker hour. So let the music play on. Yes, I'm a rock and roll girl. Whatever Barbie wants, Barbie's gonna get. Nothing's gonna stop me once my mind is set, 'cause I'm a rock and roll girl. Yes, she's a rock and roll girl. We're Barbie and the Rockers. We're Barbie and the Rockers. We're Barbie and the Rockers, and we're coming to town. We hope you're gonna show us around.